You're watching local coverage you can count on. This is WANE 15 News, Nightcast at 11.
The police reaction to this is, as expected, over the top, unnecessary, and violent. And it was a nonviolent demonstration. We took to the streets. People are enraged by what has happened, not just in Minneapolis, but across the country. An endemic of police brutality against black and brown people, and this is the result of it.
A night of chaos as hundreds converge on downtown Fort Wayne in what started as a peaceful protest and later led to running in the streets as tear gas was dispersed. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tara Brantley. Today's protest was meant to show solidarity with others around the country who are asking for justice in the death of George Floyd, the Minnesota man who died Monday in police custody. WANE 15 has had team coverage from the very beginning. Dirk Rowley joins us now to kick things off. Dirk, you breathed in some of the tear gas?
Yeah, Tara, that is absolutely correct. We've been here since 4:30, and then at 5 o'clock things got underway with a couple dozen people, and it was very peaceful, and it was very peaceful for a very long time, for at least an hour and a half. And then at 6:30, you could feel the mood start to change a little bit. I want to bring Chris Darby in here, who's been here as well, and we have watched this go from a very peaceful, very well-behaved, very passionate and loud, but well-behaved group of protesters into, well, what we're seeing now.
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick in a second about how that progressed, but real quick I want to show over your shoulder here. There's a group as we speak of police officers that have kind of moved towards Calhoun Street as we talk. You can hear some protesters down there. It's eerie right now that you can hear the distance when you couldn't before. But yeah, I don't even know the time frame of a couple hours into this protest, 7:30-ish probably. The protesters were blocking Main Street at Clinton Street is when things really started to escalate.
So what we had was the about, 12 protesters maybe decided to bring a bicycle out into the crosswalk here at Clinton and Berry, and that's when traffic stopped. And that's when the tone started to change. Traffic stopped. Motorists got impatient. We've seen this how many times, where all it takes is somebody to step on the gas intentionally or unintentionally with a protester right in front of them, and things go bad. Now you're hearing some impatience, I think. People started finally getting through, drove south on Clinton, then up to Washington. We had a two-car collision, which brought the police out for the first time. We didn't see police presence here until that accident, and then the police had to clean that up, direct traffic there, and about 30, 50 protesters maybe went to that direction and let the police know their opinion of what they thought, was happening. Police were very well restrained at that point. They cleaned that accident up. Those protesters came back this way, and that is when there was still people in the streets, and it went north towards Headwaters Park.
Yeah, there's the majority of the crowd that was down here made their way to the Martin Luther King Jr. Bridge for the first time, came back down towards the courthouse. About a half of them went back to Martin Luther King Jr. Bridge, which is obviously symbolic for so many reasons. But at some point, they started camping out somewhat, protesting in the intersection with Main Street. That's when police officers started to show up. I was right there at the corner by the Rousseau Center where the police headquarters is, as the officers lined out with their riot gear on, and it took seconds maybe before pepper spray started flying our direction as we were standing on the sidewalks. They lined up in the formation that you see here right now, similar formation, as traffic was backed up there and the people were in the intersection, and then eventually it turned that point where they started pushing more people back and more tear gas started coming out.
All right, we look like we have some technical difficulties here. Alicia, the organizer of this on Facebook, had said over and over she wanted this to be a peaceful event. It has become less than that here. So we are still trying to figure out what exactly is happening down the road about a block on Calhoun. We've heard reports of some various windows being broken, and that we have not yet been able to confirm those. We also hope to ask Sophia, the police department spokesperson, exactly at what point they decided to fire the tear gas into the crowd, because clearly at some point they felt like enough was enough. Traffic had been stalled. Semis were not able to move here on Clinton Street, and at some point, with no warning, I would like to point out, none that I heard, the tear gas was fired. So
from what I've seen, it was about the time the Allen County Sheriff's Department showed up that we actually started to hear voices over an intercom system. Before that, it was Fort Wayne Police, and you didn't hear much of a warning if you saw anything coming. But the Sheriff's Department showed up, and that's when there were, at some point, several rounds of tear gas here at the intersection back where this all started.
So we are here at Berry and the corner of Berry and Clinton at the courthouse. We will be back here later in this newscast here on WANE 15. For now, Dirk Rowley, Chris Darby, WANE 15 News.
Good job for you both. Thank you very much. So the big question, why was the tear gas dispersed? That is what we are asking city officials this evening. WANE 15's Brianna Brownlee continues our team coverage now from the newsroom. Bree, what is the mayor saying about all of this?
Tira, like you said, the burning question is, how did a peaceful protest turn into tear gas being thrown? Now, earlier tonight, Mayor Tom Henry did post a statement on his Facebook page, and what he is emphasizing is that it is vital that the city comes together as one. His post read in part, our country and community are hurting as a result of the passing of George Floyd. It's a terrible tragedy for our society. Mr. Floyd's death did not need to happen, and we pray tonight for his family and the many others who face injustices. The city of Fort Wayne respects the rights of individuals to participate in peaceful demonstrations. Tonight's demonstration in downtown Fort Wayne began peacefully. As the demonstration moved along, it began to get more aggressive, and the safety of the public was being put at risk. The Fort Wayne Police Department ultimately had to respond in a manner to protect the public's safety. Now, to read Mayor Tom Henry's full statement, make sure to visit WANE.com. Also, make sure to download our app where we will send you push alerts of updates. In the newsroom, Brianna Brownlee, WANE 15 News.
Bree, thank you. Okay, I'm being told that right now we can speak to Fort Wayne Public Information Officer Sophia Rosales-Catina. She is at the Allen County Jail. Sophia, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, thank you. Why were police called out this evening?
Well, we were initially on standby, as we are for any protests that might be happening in Fort Wayne. And this protest started out very peacefully. However, it did not stay that way. We had several people flooding the streets, then blocking traffic. Then they began to act in an aggressive manner. They were jumping on vehicles, kicking vehicles. At that point, our team was dispersed into there to get the crowd out of the street and to stop the damage and protect public safety.
Was there the need, though, for the tear gas disbursement?
Right, so we give several commands before that tear gas is utilized. I believe we used a smoke. We used smoke at first. We made several announcements asking the crowd to disperse. The crowd refused to do so. To gain that control of that area, we did push out some gas, and it seemed to disperse the crowd. We've had several instances of vandalism, looting of businesses downtown. I don't have any reports right now of injuries or anything right now, but we are making arrests at this time. We are asking for people to stay out of the downtown area. It is not safe. Please do not bring your children down here. This is not a place for children. We are asking people to please disperse and do so peacefully. We don't want to make arrests. This has been a last resort for us. We've tried to let people vent as much as they can, but we cannot allow the destruction of property and the safety of citizens that are trying to live in the downtown area or drive through here.
Sophia, another protest is planned tomorrow. Will police be on the scene?
We will be on the scene. We are making those plans now. We are being assisted currently by the Indiana State Police and the County Sheriff's Department. So we are planning on having a presence down here tomorrow to make sure that starts and ends peacefully. We want this to be peaceful. We want people to exercise their constitutional rights, but we want them to do so in a peaceful manner. They are afforded that luxury by the Constitution, and it's a great thing to have, and we just want them to do this peacefully. We have no problems with that. Just be peaceful.
Sergeant Sophia Rosales-Catina, thank you for joining us this evening. Across the country, many protests have been held, like the one in Fort Wayne. In Minneapolis, where Floyd died, an overnight curfew is now in effect after another day of mayhem. CBS's Michael George is there with the latest.
The Minnesota National Guard is now on patrol in Minneapolis alongside scores of law enforcement officers. Days of protests have been giving way to nights of mayhem in the Twin Cities, all stemming from the death of George Floyd in police custody on Monday. The city has dismissed 4 officers who were involved in the incident. One is now facing criminal charges.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been charged by the Hennepin County Attorney's Office with murder and with manslaughter.
Cell phone video shows Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck until he lost consciousness.
The investigation is ongoing. We felt it appropriate to focus on the most dangerous perpetrator.
An attorney for Floyd's family said they'd been hoping for a more serious charge than third-degree murder.
They were very clear in their position that it should be first-degree murder charges and the other officers should be arrested too.
It remains to be seen if the announcement of the officer's arrest, along with the just-imposed curfews, will calm the unrest here in Minneapolis. The anger that erupted here has already spread across the country. Large-scale and sometimes violent demonstrations have taken place in several cities, including Denver, Louisville, Columbus, Ohio, Atlanta, and in Houston, George Floyd's hometown.
We're determined that justice be served.
Protesters have also gathered at the White House. On Friday, President Trump said he's spoken with George's family. The president also urged calm going forward. Michael George, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Of course, WANE 15 will continue to follow up on tonight's protest this weekend, including one taking place tomorrow afternoon. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and find the very latest information on our website, WANE.com.
Now, your first weather from the live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center.
We had some rain to track at different times today. The main system earlier on today. Another weaker system came on through this evening, bringing scattered rain to the area. All of that has now moved to the east, and we are done with rain chances as we head into the weekend. Just a few clouds around tonight. Our temperatures heading out of the 60s and into the 50s. Some of you there now. 59 in Columbia City and Warsaw, 59 in Auburn, but 62 in Fort Wayne, 64 in Decatur, 66 in Van Wert. Look for a mostly clear sky overnight with our temperature dropping as low as 52 in Fort Wayne. Some spots to the north could drop into the upper 40s before our temperatures start to rise again. Coming up in the 10-day forecast, a nice sunny weekend ahead for us. Then things will heat up again next week. I'm back with the latest numbers later on.
All right, Nicholas, thank you. We have just learned that the city is going to hold a press conference with all officials to talk about the situation that happened tonight. Once we get more information on that, we'll be sure to pass it along to you. We are back after the break.
With Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley, you're watching WANE 15 News, Nightcast at 11.
SpaceX and NASA are getting ready for a second attempt at history this weekend. After Wednesday's mission was scrubbed due to severe weather, astronauts will suit up again on the first spacecraft built by a private company to launch tomorrow. CBS's Skylar Henry has more now from the Kennedy Space Center, where everyone is once again watching the weather very closely.
It's on to round 2 for SpaceX and NASA as crews prepare Launchpad 39A for another chance at a historic mission after storm threats scrubbed the first attempt.
I think this is certain, though. We are going to launch American astronauts on American rockets from American soil.
Astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken are readying themselves for the launch that'll get them to the International Space Station. After spending time with family, the two are getting briefed ahead of Saturday's mission.
There were learning opportunities there. We're always gathering data. But I will tell you, the rocket was ready to go. The crew capsule was ready to go. All the ground systems were working.
Weather is still going to be a factor for Saturday's launch. NASA's rescue team says it not only has to be clear here in Florida, but off the coast and into the Atlantic Ocean.
If you splash down and end up in the water on anywhere along the coast, you can't have such bad weather that affects a rescue, affects survivability concerns.
The launch will help set a new standard for American space travel, breaking NASA's dependence on Russian spacecraft and creating a new opportunity for private companies like SpaceX.
What Elon Musk has done for the American space program is he has brought vision and inspiration that we hadn't had, for 10 years, since the retirement of the space shuttles, 9 years.
NASA is clear, though. While everyone is ready to launch, safety comes first. Skylar Henry, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.
We are now going to go back to our top story about the protests downtown from this evening. We've just gotten word that we have reaction from demonstrators who were hit by tear gas. Let's listen.
see this? This is what we're all about. This is why we protested. This is why we protested. Sorry, look at this. Look at this. Largest gang in America, which is true fact, is the police. Look at this. I can't breathe. Now, do they get the message? Listen up. See all these people out here. We're all united. Black, white, Latino, Asian. Everybody's united. Justice for George. Justice for George.
Tear gas stings the throat. It burns the eyes. It's only temporary. I think that's important to know. It can be alleviated with milk or water. But again, it's a police tactic that is unnecessary. It ramps the people up. You saw people throwing things back, but it's entirely unnecessary.
And you can see more of that on our website, WANE.com. And now with the forecast, here's Nicholas.
So today we matched our average with a high of 76. We're cooler for the weekend with some sunshine too. I have all the details after the break.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferreri's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
A little sunshine would be good in this forecast in our weather report tonight, and we have that coming for the weekend. Take a look at this photo that came after rain moved through parts of the area earlier on this evening. This rainbow spotted in Garrett from Jonathan Klepfer. Thank you, Jonathan, for sending this in. It's a beautiful shot. Now we enter the overnight with the rain gone. The rain that came through this evening that marched in from Warsaw, moved through Columbia City near Kendallville, through Fort Wayne, then into northwest Ohio, has now exited the east. It was the second system that came through today, a much bigger one, with scattered rain, came through in the morning into the afternoon. That's all well off to the east now. We're seeing the clouds pretty much clear, just a few overhead, and our temperatures headed down. Our current temperature at 62, our winds blowing in from the northwest at 5 miles per hour, and our temperatures will drop about 10 degrees between now and daybreak. 61 the temperature in Angola, it's 59 in Columbia City, 61 in Huntington, 62 in Bluffton, and 66 in Van Wert. We head into the overnight with this mostly clear sky, and then these morning temperatures that will be in the 50s in most spots, although some areas to the north, like LaGrange and Kendallville, may dip into the 40s. From there, we're going to have a nice day ahead of us, a lot of sunshine, especially in the morning, a slight increase in cloud cover as we head into the afternoon, but nothing worse than partly cloudy around here. High pressure moving in this weekend, so no rain expected here over the upcoming days. Tomorrow's temperature timeline is this: 56 at 9 in the morning, at 11, 60, at 1 o'clock, 65, at 3, 69, at 5 o'clock, 70. Winds tomorrow from the northwest, a little bit breezy at times, but all in all, not too bad. On Sunday, a lot of sunshine there, very similar temperature forecast, 69. Monday, 71, mostly cloudy as we start off June. On Tuesday, for primary day, 77, a dry day, partly cloudy. Wednesday, though, some rain and thunderstorms back in the picture, 83. And this is when we get humid again. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all comfortable days for us in the humidity department. On Thursday, sunny, 79. Friday, 82. Saturday, some rain, 85. A week from Sunday, 89. A week from Monday, 86. That's the latest from the Live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center. Stay tuned. Sports is coming up.
After 26 seasons at an NECC powerhouse, one local girls basketball coach is calling it a career. A Fort Wayne baseball standout is named an All-American on the collegiate level, and a lot of talk in Indy this offseason has been about quarterback Phillip Rivers, but there's a guy on the other side of the football looking to make a giant impact in Indianapolis. We'll hear from DeForest Buckner next in sports.
Good evening, Indiana. Welcome to tonight's Hoosier Lottery Daily 3 and Daily 4 drawings. I'm Shazay Smith. For 30 years, the Hoosier Lottery has contributed nearly $700 million to local police and firefighter pensions. Visit HoosierLottery.com for details. Now, good luck and let's play Daily 3. Tonight's first number is 4, followed by 5. Our third number tonight is 6. Your winning numbers tonight are 4, 5, 6. Now, let's play Daily 4. Tonight's first number is 8, followed by 4. Our third winning number tonight is 6. And finally, 5. Those winning numbers, 8, 4, 6, 5. Super Bowl 8. Good luck, Indiana.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Glenn Marini's Sports Report. Sports coverage you can count on.
Well, it is Friday, which means it's a good time to catch up on some coaching moves that happened this week. West Noble naming Jeff Burns their new girls basketball coach. He spent 14 years as an assistant, including 13 under Dale Morano. Morano stepping down after this past season. Now up in Westview, the Warriors are looking for a new girls basketball coach of their own. Randy Yoder retiring after 43 years overall in coaching. That includes 26 leading the Westview girls basketball program. He won 353 games during his time on the sideline. It is indeed a transitional time for Westview hoops. Rob Yoder stepping down as the boys basketball coach at Westview after 17 seasons last month. In baseball news, tip of the cap to this guy, Fort Wayne native Grant Richardson, a sophomore at IU, the outfielder named third-team All-American by Collegiate Baseball in 14 games this past season, which was obviously shortened due to the pandemic. Richardson hitting .424 with 5 home runs. Those 5 homers leading the Big Ten. He also scored 21 runs, which also led the conference. Richardson playing his first 3 years of high school ball at Bishop Dwenger, but his family did move to Fishers for his last year of high school. Well, not since the days of Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis have the Colts had an elite defensive player that could wreck an opponent's offense. That's all changed this offseason with Indianapolis trading their first-round draft pick for DeForest Buckner. Dave Griffiths of our sister station in Indianapolis has more on the man who will be the focus of the Colts defense in 2020.
DeForest Buckner is still waiting, and eagerly so, for that first day he can walk into the complex on West 56th Street as a member of the Indianapolis Colts.
Every day, I hope we get the text or the call saying that, we can report it on this certain date and get in the building. And I'm pretty sure, I know that's everybody's mindset on this whole situation.
But making the most of the meantime, Buckner has felt welcomed into the Horseshoe fold. He points out the coaching staff has led the way there, letting new members of the team introduce themselves and their families over Zoom meetings.
That's what I thought was really cool. You know what I mean? It's not just a football aspect of everything. They really want everybody to, get to know each other and everything. And I've definitely felt a part of the group so far.
But when it does come to football, Buckner knows exactly what defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus expects of him, and the rest of the defensive line for that matter.
He wants us to shatter glass. You know what I mean? He wants us to get upfield and go fast as possible and, wreak havoc. So that's what I love about him.
And Buckner also loves the unit he's joined to accomplish that task with the rest of the defensive line.
All these guys, they're all talented in their own way and can affect the quarterback. And so being able to, my whole thing is being able to get on the field with all of them, being able to build that chemistry because I know we can do a lot this year.
And we wait with bated breath until that day comes. With the Colts, I'm Dave Griffiths.
Even though Buckner hasn't played a snap yet for the Colts, they've already signed him to a 4-year, $84 million contract extension. It makes him the second highest paid defensive lineman in NFL history. I'm Glenn Marini, and that does it for your local sports report.
So we are downtown again here, Dirk Rally, Chris Darby from WANE 15, and we have moved from our spot, and we are now here at the corner of Calhoun and Barry, and we've seen some broken windows. This is where I believe some of the damage may have happened after the protesters started to be dispersed.
Yeah, we do see some spray paint on the courthouse as well. We're not going to show that to you, but we've noticed the police have kind of worked different areas. We're looking around the corner here now on Calhoun Street, but
yeah, we can come on over.
The main crowds that we saw for the most part of the evening along Clinton Street have been dispersed into several pockets around away from.
Broken glass at some of the restaurants downtown, some sandwich shops. And we've heard reports of some of the hotel, again, some vandalism, things, again, going south.
As you saw, a little bit of trouble with the live shot with Dirk Rowley and Chris Darby, recapping what was going on downtown. A local protest organized to call justice for the death of Minnesota man who died in police custody erupted in chaos downtown. We are going to continue to cover this throughout the night. Now let's go to Nicholas.
All right, let's look at this 10-day forecast one more time. The weekend that's ahead of us features a calm weather setup. High pressure edging in, 70 our high tomorrow. We're going to have sunshine and no rain for the next few days. Tomorrow we start off with plenty of sun. A few more clouds show up during the afternoon, but nothing worse than partly cloudy. You can see Sunday a very similar day. A lot of sunshine coming our way. Temperatures don't budge much. 69 the high temperature. On Monday, 71. Then we do see temperatures heat on up as next week rolls along.
All right, Nicholas, thank you. Now we're going to try to go back to Dirk Rowley and Chris Darby live downtown with more on the protest.
Here, don't move. All right, so again, we are down here again at the corner of Berry and Calhoun to recap the event so far. Again, things started at 5 o'clock, very peaceful. We are trying to wait here because we wanted to bring you the information that we have about a press conference that we believe is going to take place soon, but it may be tomorrow morning. It may not be tonight, and that is again with state, with the city, and with the Allen County Sheriffs. All three law enforcement agencies have been involved in tonight. Right now, downtown police, I believe, have stopped everything coming into downtown through on Clinton at the bridge, and then this for blocks around the courthouse, you see a police presence here with the cars and the lights.
Yeah, and it's still very active. The pockets of protesters are not leaving downtown, they're just moving around. So we're looking down Calhoun Street behind us. Almost in every direction do you see pockets of protesters. You do see some of that shattered glass in some of these buildings around us, turnover pots, things like that. And you're hearing noises and shouting and horns honking still in the distance.
First News Weekend obviously is going to have a recap of some of the damage once it gets light out again, when we can really start to assess what has taken place tonight. We also know that Ira Headley with the city's 10-point coalition has a coalition of pastors that he has. All right, as we are talking here, police have left this Berry and Calhoun location, and they are moving south down Calhoun
to the Grand WANE Center is what they're saying.
Center. So
they were just starting to look relaxed, to be honest with you.
Which has happened so many times tonight, where it feels like everything is just relaxed, and then all of a sudden, there comes the tear gas. We're going to try to move as we walk here and go with the police. Again, the technology is not always the greatest, and see if we can find out what is happening down here. Again, you are with us live on Calhoun Street. This is the site of Pint and Slice. It's the site of the Dash Inn, and we are going to see if we can make a move that direction with the police, and who have been the officers that were where we were have moved to a new location. So again, we are not exactly, very hard to tell what is going on.
The last, like I said, we just overheard kind of shouting between the officers about the Grand WANE Center. Obviously a lot of glass and windows down here. Here's Anthony Wayne credit adjuster's glass shattered. We're seeing glass shattered here at Forteza. With all these places on Calhoun Street.
We can tell you that earlier tonight, we were trying to get up to our camera that we have for the weather up at Empyrean, which is in the high atop Fort Wayne, and that was not going to happen because we were told that building had been locked down to anyone going in or out. That was the way in. All right, there's now some shots.
People running down Calhoun here.
It's hard to tell exactly what is being used, but that certainly cleared that crowd very quickly. Again, we are here at the corner of Calhoun. Whether that be Wayne that we're looking at here. We're looking that is towards us, towards the north.
We've been seeing several vehicles, the same vehicles, circling these blocks with people yelling and shouting and honking horns, and they seem to be going where the crowds of people have take
tests with a couple dozen people.
Yeah, crowd's coming our way here. We're gonna step out of the way. You're looking at Calhoun Street, downtown Fort Wayne. People back the direction they're by the courthouse.
This Fort Wayne, fuck Fort Wayne. This is our street. Don't make me. Hey, with my face, man. Exactly, man. I want to go that way because You just see that shotgun be pointing at their faces? Michael, what are you doing? How do you point guns at these? He had a shotgun pointed at their face.
Now we've got
Obviously,
tear gas again.
Protesters yelling back. We expect to leave this position very quickly if the tear gas comes, because
Yeah.
it's just impossible. That tear gas has been dispersed about half a block away from us. As the wind starts to come this direction, we will be out of here. But again, to our north, there are police cars with lights and sirens.
Well,
to
now
our
this
south,
is an interesting
there
ourselves in here too, because it's coming from both directions.
Correct. Police are closing in here. Typically, they've put direction or the other, but I'm not sure where these folks are going to go.
Right now, the main area of trouble looks like Calhoun and Wayne, right there where the Jimmy John's store is. A lot of officers standing there. Same vehicles we've seen all evening passing by, driving.
Some of these protests here be no denying that, but also the police at some point.
They're running down the alley next to Pine.
The alleyway there next to the Pint and Slice, the newly police are headed that way, up the streets, holding cane in his mace. All right, now it's become violent. Police started to the ground.
As you can see, a chaotic scene downtown. I want to commend Dirk Rowley and Chris Darby for reporting the information to us. Good job to both of them. Again, we are being told by the Fort Wayne Police Department PIO, the Public Information Officer, to steer clear of downtown. As you saw, a very active scene, dangerous situation, so steer clear of downtown. This is going to be going on probably throughout the night. We are expecting to hear from city officials during a press conference, either sometime in the next, we'll say, hour or so, or very early in the morning. Of course, we're going to keep you posted on what we know. We're going to wrap things up now. Please keep it here to WANE 15, and of course, check out WANE.com for the very latest on this fluid situation.